Are you ready to unlock the secret to talking more comfortably on camera and transforming your on-screen presence instantly? We got to talk about this here on episode number 45 of Video Brand Infusion. My name is Meredith Marsh. I'm here to help you infuse the best video marketing strategies into your business so that you can build a thriving video brand, grow your audience, and generate consistent revenue. And if you're still watching at this point, that means I hooked you in the first couple of seconds, but I had a little bit of help because I created this really cool AI tool for my members inside of Video Brand Academy. And I was sitting here thinking, how am I going to start this video? And I remembered I created this opening hook helper tool. So I put in the topic, I put in the title, and it gave me some really great opening hook ideas, which definitely helped me get started. But knowing what to say when you first hit record is really only part of the battle of actually talking to the camera and then having it feel comfortable to the viewer, having you come off as confident to the viewer. You know what I mean? Like if you ever hit record and then felt sort of paralyzed, like a deer in headlights look, first of all, you're not alone. I think it's totally normal because nobody is born knowing how to talk to a camera. Most people don't really want to talk to a camera. It just sort of becomes this thing that we do in the online space. And perhaps for a small percentage of people, it does come naturally. But if you're anything like me, it actually takes effort to be natural, to be comfortable and confident, and to then like come across as confident and comfortable talking to the camera to the viewer. So that's what we're going to dive into today. And this is not a new topic here on my channel. I've talked about this quite a bit, and I think it's one of my favorite topics. It's one of my favorite questions when somebody asks me about how to be comfortable on camera, how to kind of like get into this headspace where it feels natural to talk to the camera, because I was never an on-camera person. I never had the desire to like talk to a camera. I didn't really, I wasn't a spotlight person, right? I was like a behind the scenes type of a person. But when I started to think about creating content, if you know a little bit of my backstory, I really just wanted to be a blogger, and it just made sense to create videos for the topic that I was wanting to create content about. It just made sense to talk to a camera, and that's what I saw other people doing on YouTube. And I honestly thought, yeah, I guess I could probably do that. I could try that. Why not? And I remember running into somebody in person that I like have known my whole entire life just a few months after starting my channel. And she happened to know about my channel, which was like mortifying to me. And she watched a couple of my videos. I think my mom told her about it, to be totally honest. And she said, "You seem so natural on camera." I was really surprised. "You seem so natural." And I'm like, no. None of that is natural. I'm not natural on camera. Like, what are you even talking about? It's editing. It's me pretending to be comfortable and natural on camera. And she said, "Well, whatever you're doing, it works." And that really stuck with me because, you know, there's a saying like fake it till you make it. And I think, you know, that doesn't necessarily work with everything, but I think it works with talking to a camera, because I can't even stress how truthful and transparent I'm being right now. When I first hit record, I just told myself, just pretend that this is normal. I was recording in my living room, in my house, by myself. The kids were at the sitter. My husband was at work. Nobody was around. I probably went around and checked all of the windows, checked my driveway, make sure like there was nobody in the vicinity, because talking to the camera is weird. It's awkward. And I just told myself, just pretend that it's not. Pretend that this is normal. Pretend that you know what you're doing. Pretend that you're comfortable. What would you sound like if you were comfortable talking to the camera? And that's what I did. Now, like looking back at my first videos, which I hope you don't do, but to me, it's obvious that it wasn't natural. It wasn't comfortable. It was awkward. I was awkward. And now talking to the camera really doesn't feel awkward at all. And I do have some practical and useful, actionable tips for you to work on with your very next video that you're going to record. But I'm just going to tell you up front, spoiler alert, it really comes down to pretending that you are comfortable talking to the camera. It does get easier over time, especially when you are making a conscious effort. Now, I mentioned that when I first started, I could see other people were just like hitting record and talking to the camera. And I thought, oh, I could do that too. And what I noticed a few different times, I would say like in the first 6 months of making videos, is when I would go to edit the video, I would be like watching it back and I would think, oh my gosh, you sound just like so-and-so. You sound just like this person or that person, or you sound just like a newscaster. Why are you talking like that? And I wasn't trying necessarily, like consciously trying to do that when I was recording. But I honestly think because it's not natural to talk to a camera, my brain was just like trying to put all these pieces of the puzzle together and emulate what I saw other people doing. Because when you are just having a conversation with somebody that you are comfortable with, you're not consciously thinking about how you're speaking. I mean, unless you have anxiety over this, you're not like wondering, how are these words coming out of my mouth right now? Or trying to think of what you're going to say next. It's just like a natural, comfortable conversation. But for some reason, once you hit record and you know you're recording, all of that, any comfort that you had in speaking goes right out the window. And now your brain is like consciously critiquing everything coming out of your brain, trying to sound natural, trying to be comfortable. And the flip side of that coin, of course, is that after you're done recording, at some point you have to edit, right? You have to watch it back. And that's where you get to sort of critique your recording as a viewer and notice the habits of when you're recording, like habits in your voice, saying like and I don't know, doing weird little quirky things. There are times where I don't do this much anymore, but there used to be times where if I was trying to figure out what words I was trying to get to come out of my mouth next, like if I was trying to find the words in my brain, I would blink a lot on camera. And I didn't notice it when it was happening. I noticed it when I was editing and I thought, it's not that big of a deal really. But then every once in a while I would get a comment on like how much I was blinking. And so then I became self-conscious about it, which then led me to be aware of it when I was recording. And now it happens every once in a while. Might even happen in this video right now. But because I practiced, because I was consciously aware of it and consciously noticed when it was happening and maybe stopped, paused, took a breath, thought about what words I was going to say next, I could just kind of continue the video without all of the blinking. And this brings up an excellent point, I think, because if one of the reasons why you feel maybe a little bit apprehensive about talking to a camera is because you know you're going to have to upload your video to the internet, to the public, to strangers who might criticize you in some way. If that is part of perhaps the fear or the anxiety or the uncomfortableness of talking to the camera, that is a completely valid fear. And after almost 10 years on YouTube, I will tell you that it's also unavoidable. I'm not going to say like, oh, you're going to have haters and you're going to have trolls. Yes, you could, but you will probably have people in your comments that say something, maybe not even intending to be offensive or not even intending to hurt your feelings, but that do hurt your feelings or make you feel self-conscious, like with all of the blinking that I was doing. But comments that might seem negative or critical on the surface are a gift because they, one, help you to actually improve in your video delivery or your editing or whatever it is that pertains to that comment. But number two, and this is more important, and this goes much deeper into the mindset piece of creating videos and showing up online for strangers on the internet. And that is when you get a comment that bothers you because it stings a little bit, you get to ask yourself, oh, why did that hurt? And you can do some really good inner work by asking yourself why certain comments sting a little bit more than others, while at the same time actually improving your videos and your delivery and your overall way that you present yourself online. Now, I've gone off into the weeds a little bit talking about the mindset part of talking to a camera. Let's get back to the practical tips, some more practical tips for talking more comfortably to the camera, aside from simply practicing. Okay, now I mentioned I've been doing this for almost 10 years, and I don't think there was really a single moment that I can remember like something clicked and I was no longer uncomfortable talking to the camera. It's really been a slow burn over the years. But I do feel comfortable now. I feel totally comfortable talking to the camera as if I'm having a conversation because I have practiced it for so long. Practice does make, maybe not perfect, but practice does make you more comfortable over time. It might just take like 7, 8, 9 years for you to be completely 100% comfortable talking to the camera. There are a couple of things that I did when I first started that I do like to recommend for somebody who is just getting started and not feeling comfortable actually hitting record and talking to the camera at all. One of them is to actually record your video standing up. This was really, 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 really helpful for me when I first started because I thought that in order to feel comfortable talking to the camera, I needed to actually be physically comfortable while I was recording. So my first couple of videos, I was just like sitting on my couch, being comfortable. And when I watched them back, like to edit them, I just didn't like how they looked. I was like a little too comfortable, too relaxed. I wasn't like sitting up straight. They just didn't come off like I actually cared about what I was talking about, really. I edited them, I published them, I chalked it up to like, okay, well that was certainly an experiment. But my next batch of videos were recorded standing up. And believe it or not, I felt so much more comfortable in the moment when I was recording. And then when I watched the video back, I looked more comfortable. I actually looked more confident. And I got this tip from a podcaster named John Lee Dumas, and he happened to mention that when you're standing, you have so much more like energy in your body and energy in your voice. And so when I tried it, I noticed it really, really worked for me. And I think it makes sense because think about a leader, think about a boss, think about a politician. They're standing up. They're standing up because they want to be heard, because what they're saying is important, because they want people to care about what they're saying. So it makes sense that in your brain, it kind of triggers something or flips a switch that, oh, what I'm saying is important because I'm standing up. Maybe it triggers some like chemicals or something in your brain to just sort of exude some more confidence in the words as they come out of your mouth. It really, really worked for me. And if you struggle with talking to the camera comfortably, I highly recommend that you try standing up. It doesn't mean you have to always record standing up. You notice right now, I am sitting down. I haven't recorded a stand-up video in probably 5 years or more. And even then, it was like every once in a while. Because once I learned how to sort of master the energy, so to speak, and get more comfortable on camera, I can just sort of flip the switch and turn it on. I can get the energy, get the comfort, just get in that frame of mind of talking to the camera, even while I'm sitting down. A couple of other things that I have done to kind of like get in the mood to record, which helped me be more comfortable and confident on camera, is just kind of thinking about the energy that I'm trying to convey. I think I've heard before that you have to like 10x your energy, your emotion on camera in order for it to come off to the viewer. Meaning, if I want to come off as excited, I need to be really over the top excited when I'm recording in order for it to come off to you. If I want to be sad, if I want to be happy, if I want to be angry, I have to really overdo it for the camera. Now, that to me sounds like an acting trick. I have no idea. I've never acted or taken acting lessons or anything at all, but I do think that it is true, only because in my experience, I've recorded videos where I thought I was excited when I recorded it. I thought I was in a good mood. And then when I go to edit it, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, you didn't even smile. Like, what is wrong? What's going on here? And it's just, I didn't flip the switch. I didn't flip the energy switch. And so you don't know that until you're editing the video and you're like, wow, your facial features don't even move for this video, Meredith. Like, what is wrong with you? And that's why practicing is so important, and not giving up, and just being really conscious about the areas that you want to improve and just improving them little by little with every single video. Another thing I do every once in a while, I still do this, is just listen to music, play some music, maybe while I'm getting things set up or while I'm doing my hair, doing my makeup before I hit record. If I'm not feeling super energetic and I know I need to record a video, I will sometimes use music to kind of get the energy flowing for me. The other thing is just a reminder, and I already kind of mentioned it, don't forget to smile when you are recording. That doesn't mean you have to sit here and smile the whole time, because that would be awkward and probably a little bit creepy. But in between sentences, like if you were having a good conversation with a friend that you were comfortable speaking to, you would probably smile every once in a while. You would probably laugh every once in a while. And similar to, 10xing your emotion so that it conveys as natural and normal on camera, I think smiling really goes a long way with that. And it might sound weird or silly, but if you have to put a sticky note near your camera or near your webcam to remind yourself to smile, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think when you are learning how to talk comfortably to a camera, every little cheat code that you can give yourself helps. If it's a sticky note, great. If it's a particular song or a playlist that you listen to ahead of time, great. But what it all really comes down to is doing it even though you don't necessarily feel comfortable, so that you get in the reps, you get in the practice, and you can improve a little bit over time. And if you simply pretend that you are comfortable and confident talking to the camera, your brain will be tricked into being comfortable and confident talking to the camera. And I am living proof of that. Go watch my old videos. Please don't. Please, please, please don't. But go watch my old videos. I was awkward. I did it anyway. I pretended that I wasn't awkward, and I still was, and I kept showing up, and I did it anyway. Now, aside from sending your entire family away from your house so that you can have the privacy of hitting record in your own home to record your YouTube videos, I think another really fantastic way to get comfortable on camera, talking to a camera, is to attend some kind of a group Zoom call, group meetup, or even just doing a live stream on your own channel. And if you're looking for some place to get the reps in, if you're looking for some place to practice talking to the camera by simply having a conversation through the camera, I invite you to join me inside of Video Brand Academy, where we have at least a couple of meetups that happen every single month, from my What's Working Now meetup, where I share some trends and tactics that are currently working on YouTube, or if it's our analytics deep dive calls, or even just our office hours call, where you can get some questions answered and brainstorm what you're working on. Better way to get comfortable talking to the camera than by just talking to me inside Video Brand Academy.